can sing on key. Maybe not. I don't know if I can today, 'cause my voice is weird. Hi, Redem10, it's good to see you back. Priscilla Chopin, I think this is what you hear when you die. I hope that my terrible off-key voice is not what you hear when you die. Gosh, I'm imagining you like going up to heaven and it's just like these ethereal voices and I just hear, oh, just my voice, just weirdly just singing in with the weird angelic choir. Oh. I don't know why that got me, but you really made me laugh. You really, that just got me. All right, I'm gonna pop on. Let me transition over because transitions are good. Let me turn down the music a little bit so I'm not too distracted. Hello, how is everyone doing this fine, lovely Thursday? Before we get started, I just want to say to two people, because I saw you talking in chat, and I'm sure there are others, but I want to say to who was it? Legend of Zia and Ulysses the Pagan. I just saw as I was getting set up here that both of you are dealing with some stuff. Ulysses, you shared that you got COVID, and so I just want to send you a heart, Ulysses. Like I think I spoke about last week. I also may have gotten COVID. I don't know for sure because I wasn't able to get a test while I was still having it, but I definitely felt like I had like COVID. At the very least, I felt sick. So I hope that you're going to be okay and you're taking care of yourself, Ulysses. So heart to you. And then Legend of Zia, you shared that you had lost your job, which really sucks. So I'm just sending you love, and I'm glad that you're here, and just know that you are wonderful and amazing, and your job has nothing to do with who you are and your value as a person. You're absolutely lovely and amazing, Legend of Zia. So I just want to make sure that you know that you are loved and accepted. And oops, sorry, I just hit that. But to everyone, for everyone who may be dealing with some stuff today, I'm sending you all the love. As many of you probably heard, I'll talk about it later if I want to talk about it. I'm actually doing a whole video on it just to discuss it. But as many of you know, this week was also rough for me, but also had some good positive stuff too. So we'll talk about that today. But yeah, there's some rough stuff involving my facial feminization surgery that I was hoping to have in 5 days, but now is not happening. So. But yeah, so yeah, I just want to send everyone love because it's been a week for me too. So sending you all love on all those fronts. But heart, heart to everybody. I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm nearly positive Ale and I had COVID at the end of the year. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Corey. By the way, also heart to you, Corey. Also heart to you, punk rock zoologist. Say I'm okay. Really exhausted by parents pushing boundaries. Otherwise, I'm doing well. I'm sorry. Parents pushing boundaries is never particularly fun. So I'm sorry you're dealing with that, punk rock zoologist. I don't know, this music is a little bit, I think it's a little bit loud, actually. Sorry that the music's a bit loud. But yeah, oh, that's awesome. Basila, you got some good positivity from your therapy session. That's really sweet. That's wonderful. Sorry, I know we started off negatively, but I just wanted to at least say those things to a couple of those people. But just to let everyone know, before we get started with this stream, for those of you who are new to this stream, every single Thursday, I have a chat stream where I talk for about an hour. I'll probably be a little bit less today, just because I do have a few things that I need to get done today. I'm actually a little bit behind on work this week because my Matrix Resurrections video took a little bit longer than I anticipated. But regardless, if I can speak, we talk here for about an hour or so, probably a little bit less today, where I just answer any of your questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas, things that you want to talk about, random nonsense that's on your mind that you want me to ramble about for a little bit. So I just pay attention to the chat, talk about whatever you bring to my plate, and I just sort of chat about it for a little bit and talk with all of you. The only thing I will say with all of that is that super chats are very much appreciated. I try to give those a little bit more priority just because they do help pay the bills, because as you know, I am mainly supported through my work here on YouTube. I say mainly now because I do have a good announcement, but But yeah, I am supported through stuff on here on YouTube, so super chats are appreciated. I give you hearts if you give a super chat, but otherwise I try to do my best to sort of pay attention to the chat overall. But yeah, Jennifer Day, speaking of which, thank you so much for your super chat. You said my heart goes out to you. I've been trying for my Orky the first time I got it canceled. I cried for 5 hours straight and randomly after. I'm so sorry, Jennifer Day. Yeah, it's... I'll quick share this. I'm gonna do a video on it tomorrow. Not because I want to be like, oh, Jessie is sad. I'm doing a video on it tomorrow because it's actually not an uncommon thing for many trans people to experience, and so I share my experience with this in order to connect it with people who actually are dealing with a lot worse than I am. I am lucky is the wrong word, but I am by no means facing the worst when it comes to this. But, oh, thank you for everyone. By the way, people said, everyone said that they liked my shirt, which thank you so much. I actually got this. This was actually, I was lucky enough that, because when Star Trek Lower Decks premiered, they actually sent these shirts out to some people who, they sent out care packages to some lucky Star Trek fans, and I was one of them. So I just had the shirt. I think it has, something on the back, but I can't remember it says, what does it say on the back? I can't really, you'll have to tell me. I forgot what it says on the back, but there it is. It's got a little phrase on the back there. Anyways, but thank you for the shirt. I love the shirt. It's wonderful. It's one of I have 11 Lower Deck shirts. I have too many Lower Deck shirts, but also not enough. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, so I'll mention it now. And like I said, I'm having a video go up tomorrow where I sort of talk about it a little bit. But just so everyone knows, just because I've been talking about it a while, I was scheduled for FFS, which is facial feminization surgery, or as I like to call it, facial harmonization surgery. I love that phrase. I didn't come up with it. Someone else did. But I was supposed to have that scheduled in 5 days. For those of you who know, facial feminization surgery is actually a name for a blanket amount of surgeries that surgeons do for your face. That things like change your nose shape and also round out your cheekbones and a couple other things like forehead as well. They can do a bunch of different things, and you talk with your surgeon specifically about your needs. But it is a surgery that, for me specifically, is done to alleviate gender dysphoria. While I certainly had a lot of my gender dysphoria, most of my gender dysphoria leave through other things like hormones, breast augmentation, vaginoplasty. This was one last thing that I did want to do because it is one last lingering bit of gender dysphoria that I do have as related to my face. And I appreciate everyone saying that my face looks beautiful and wonderful. You have no idea how much that means to me. It does mean a lot to me, but it is mostly an in my head thing when it comes to gender dysphoria. Regardless, it was covered under my insurance, but because I have Kaiser Permanente, my insurance only allows me to go to one surgeon in the entire Seattle area, and so as a result, that surgeon has hugely long wait times. So I've already been waiting about 7 months for this surgery, on top of the years that I've had to wait for the surgery just in general, getting approvals, and because I've moved to different cities, had to jump surgeons and things like that. Anyways, regardless, I've been waiting 6 months. I got it scheduled, and it was scheduled for literally 5 days from now, but because of the way of the current pandemic, I learned this week that it was canceled. And even worse, what was very upsetting, cancellations I can deal with. It's fine, it gets canceled. What was the most upsetting was that it's got rescheduled for August because of the increasingly long wait times. Which sucks. Because I was right at the finish line. I was right there. And it's snatched away from me and the goalpost is shoved down. Yeah, it was kind of crappy. So, I'll be doing a longer video on it tomorrow. I thought I was gonna do a longer video on it tomorrow. That'll be released. But I hope it's not just a woe is me thing. I want to connect it to, because this is common for many trans people. Many trans people go through this. Having issues with getting things scheduled, extremely long wait times, not even getting things covered because trans healthcare is not understood or accepted. So I talk about all that in the video. So, yeah, that'll be coming tomorrow. So just wanted to share that. Anyways, that's what's going on in my life. I know I missed a couple super chats and a few other things from people, but thank you for all listening. I appreciate it. You lovely people. But I also will say, Heart Punk Rock Zoologist, thank you so much for your super chat. You said, hi Jessie, I hope this can go somewhat towards your FFS or maybe just some peers or something stronger to soften the blow of it being delayed. Thank you so much, Punk Rock Zoologist. I really appreciate that. Yeah, thankfully my FFS, hopefully insurance will still be all fine by the time it rolls around. But as of right now, my insurance is covering most of it other than the out-of-pocket expense limit. So whatever my expense limit is. I don't even know. It's like a couple $1,000. So I will be paying some for the surgery, but at least the predominant part of it is covered. So I'm also lucky in that sense. Many trans people don't get that too. So yeah, so that's what it is. But yes, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that, Boncroxologist. You are lovely. But what else was someone saying? Loved your voiceover in Vera's video. Oh, thank you very much, Amy. You're referring to the video that I did that Vera did, that I contributed to about Joss Whedon. If you hadn't seen it, Vera Wild over the YouTube channel Council of Geeks did a fantastic breakdown of the issues with Joss Whedon's recent story in the Hollywood Reporter, where he responded to the allegations against him pretty terribly. Specifically in his stuff calling out Ray Fisher as a bad actor in both senses, and that is an exact quote of his, which was absolutely horrible thing to say. I mean, just like setting aside the discussions of like the allegations against Joss, like for him to call Ray Fisher a bad actor, which the Zack Snyder cut, which I'm not a big fan of the Snyder cut, but Ray Fisher was great in it. So you can call him BS on that, but just like say that about a person who's making those allegations against you, and like understanding like and assuming malicious intent from Ray Fisher when he has very clear reasons for saying what he did. Even Joss and there's a history of Joss Whedon having these things that Joss does not refute, and to only call into question Ray Fisher and also insult his acting at the same moment is atrocious. Anyways, regardless, there's much more stuff with that essay, and Vera breaks it down absolutely wonderfully in her video. So please go check that out. I was very lucky to be asked to be part of that. Also, Foreign Man from a Foreign Land, it's good to see you. I want to talk about Foreign. I need to talk. I want to shout you out real quickly, but let me finish what I was saying really quickly. But yeah, so that video, please go check it out. For those of you, some people reached out to me and asked if I was going to do something on the video. I actually initially intended to. I actually sat down, put on the makeup, and sat down to record a video that night to do my own thing, but I also had talked with Vera earlier that they knew she was doing hers, so I wanted to have a different take on it. And when I sat down to record the video, I realized that I had a lot more to say, and I wanted to be more coherent in saying it, because I wanted to connect it to a larger concept about how we handle creators that we used to deify becoming out as like truly horrible people, and sort of discuss that dynamic and how we react to that. And then I was like, okay, I need to write this out, and I was going to write it out to put out next week. And then I started writing it last night to do that so I could record it this weekend. And then I realized, oh, this is actually a much longer video, as most of my videos turn out to be. So for those of you who are waiting for my video on Joss Whedon, I will be discussing Joss Whedon, but I've realized that it's going to be part of a larger discussion that I want to have about creators, connecting it not just to Joss Whedon, but J.K. Rowling, Dave Chappelle, many other people who were seen as progressive hero icons and have since been revealed to have either harmful or outright bigoted viewpoints, or have done horrific actions. And so I want to discuss that and our myriad of reactions to it, not just like, oh, we've deified this person, and now it's been broken down, but how people still defend the person as well, and what that means, and how that's sometimes used to hide even more harm and continued harm, like somehow, like for example, how the phrase, I support J.K. Rowling is sometimes used by transphobes in order to hide their transphobia, but to target it nonetheless, and use it as like, well, I'm just defending her. So I want to have that discussion on a myriad of those points, and that's going to be a longer video. So that will be a video that I will be doing, but it's going to come out next month. So a much longer discussion that will be had on that. So if anyone's waiting for that, just know I will do it, but it's going to take some time. But I do want to say, I see a bunch of super chats, and I just want to get to them. But first off, Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat, you lovely, lovely person. This is going to lead me to some stuff that I want to share. New Jessie book. We'll talk about that, Dare Alta Trekkie. I appreciate that. Foreign Man. Foreign Man. Cool things to say for both me and Foreign. As some of you may have heard literally yesterday, for me and Foreign today, both of us, let me start actually beginning. Foreign Man to Foreign Land is a fantastic YouTube creator here on YouTube, makes phenomenal videos about Caribbean culture and commentary, and being, someone from that background, and sort of just discussing that sort of commentary in a wonderful, amazing way. Foreign Man and Foreign Land is absolutely wonderful. Also, Foreign, remind me, I need to talk to you about my next Sex and Star Trek video because I want you to be in it, and I need to reach out to you with the stuff that I want you to help me with. But the news is both Foreign and I are officially on Nebula now. Yeah, so I am now officially on Nebula, and with Foreign, who is also on there and is well deserved to be on there. Foreign, more deserved than me, almost assuredly. And I just want to say a thank you specifically for everyone for Nebula, because I am on Nebula because of all of you. And I'm not just saying that to be like trite, like it's because of all of you that I'm on Nebula. I mean, obviously, like the very fact that I have this lovely community and you people are passionate about the videos that I make and things like that helped contribute. But even more directly, Sean Farrick, oh my gosh, it's good to see you. Sean Farrick, the wonderful host of Trek Culture, who is an absolutely adorable, wonderful, amazing human being. Sean, it's so good to see you. You are fantastic. Let me finish this. Sorry, so many things that I want to say, and there's so many wonderful people in the chat. But what was I saying? I'm on Nebula now. But the reason I got noticed by Nebula is, as many of you know, the Sex and Star Trek video that I did last month that I was so proud of had issues with YouTube, getting flagged in YouTube and all that stuff, a whole rigmarole. But when I shared out my frustration about that, so many of you were vocal about it and sharing your frustration on Twitter and on YouTube and things like that. And because of that, I got noticed by people who worked for Nebula. There was also some people behind the scenes. I also want to shout out FD Signifier, who also put forth my name and reached out to Nebula. So thank you to him for that. So absolutely thank you to FD, who was absolutely wonderful. But because of all of you and because of FD, I got noticed by the people at Nebula, who were able to help me with that video, getting that reinstituted, and then also got me on Nebula. So it is directly because of all of you being supportive, being amazing, and supporting me that I am on Nebula. And I cannot tell you how wonderful that is, because, you know, it's not just like, oh, artistically validating, but I get to be alongside some wonderful peers, wonderful people that I am shocked that I can call peers now on Nebula. That kind of blows my mind. And also, it's another place for me to feel a little bit more secure in my financial stability as a creator. So that is also very helpful. So in so many ways, I am so thankful to all of you for everything. I send you all the love. You are amazing, and I cannot tell you, thankfully, how you all helped me take that horrible event and turn it into something really beautiful and wonderful. Thank you to all of you for that. So I just want to shout you out. And I guess I also, sorry, Foreign, literally, you're messaging me on the Nebula Slack. Foreign, I love you. But Foreign is also on there. So go support Foreign. Foreign is an amazing video creator. Go support his work on Nebula as well, because he is fantastic too. And Foreign, you're a dork. You're messaging me on the Slack. You have my Discord DMs too, Foreign. You're lovely. I adore you, Foreign. But yes, we should talk. I do want to reach out, and we'll talk about what I want you to do for Sex and Star Trek, because I want you to be in that, and I have an idea that hopefully you'll enjoy. Also, sorry, I'm missing super chats, but I just want to share all that. Thank you, everybody. You're sharing all. I see all the congratulations in the chat. Apologies. I'm reading the chat, but I always realize that when you're like a creator's like, I'm reading it, but I also, I'm not telling you that I'm reading, but I have read most of your stuff. Also, yes, Corin is very confused. FD is great. FD has great boomer vibes. I love FD. He is wonderful. And Sean, I also, because he's here. And also, Aronok is here as well, who's another great creator. Fantastic people in this chat. Y'all are wonderful. So many people, not just the other creators, but all of you are wonderful too. But specifically, Aronok, another fantastic video creator. I know I will reach out to you on Twitter DMs as well about the stuff that you sent me. And also, Sean Farrick, for those of you who don't know, is the host over at Trek Culture, which is one of my favorite Star Trek channels, second only to certain mainly Trek channel run by some weird trans woman. Probably the only Star Trek channel that I like better. But other than that, Trek Culture is a fantastic Star Trek focused channel. And Sean does a phenomenal job over there. We'll say, Sean, Still upset that you're not doing the ups and downs for Star Trek Prodigy. I understand why the algorithm sucks, but I miss it. I miss every episode getting to hear your ups and downs. I'm very sad. It makes me. I miss not hearing Sean. I miss not hearing you. Sean, as if you're not here. I miss hearing your voice every single week and being like, oh, telling me how to feel about the episode. So I'm looking forward to Discovery being back. Mostly just so I can listen to you. Lovely. Anyways. Sean, just want to say that. But super chats. I see some super chats. I want to make sure I quick call them out. Andrew Klang, thank you so much for your super chat. You lovely, lovely person. You said Firefly has 2 strikes against it. And you're referring to Joss Whedon, I'm assuming. Yet I still love it. Just makes me love all the people involved in production more. Stubborn love. That is one thing, especially with television. When we talk about J.K. Rowling, it's really difficult because like she's in control of that property almost completely. Even the newer stuff like Fantastic Beasts, she has her fingers all over because she is like directly writing it and she's still contributing and getting money from that universe. Whereas something like it's I have a much more conflicted feelings about Harry Potter. Whereas the rest of Joss's work, while I don't wish to give him more money by like watching it on Netflix and things, I am much more able to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Firefly. Like if I hadn't seen those shows already, I probably would have a lot more problems starting them today and like knowing what went on. But as someone who is still a fan, it's easier for me to go back to those shows rather than Firefly or rather than Harry Potter because of all the people involved in the Firefly show and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like there were many people that worked hard on that show, not just Joss Whedon. So that helps a little bit more. It's also why, like, if I do ever go back to the Harry Potter stuff, I'm more likely to go back to the Harry Potter movies than the books at this point because screw J.K. Rowling. But I can also appreciate Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and Rupert Grint and all of them because they have stood up for trans people. Less so with Fantastic Beasts movie because J.K. Rowling's writing those directly as opposed to the movies which are written by other screenwriters. But yeah, it's just a whole hullabaloo of stuff. Sean, you want to do the ups and downs right now? I'll do ups and downs. Let me I'll do these super chats really quickly. And then we'll do a time of mock ups and downs. Let's do it. I'm here for it. That makes me excited now. Give me just a second. But Catherine Lambeth, heart to you. You're lovely. I need to message you as well. I'm so sad to hear. I was all excited to celebrate your upcoming FFS. I hope delayed to August doesn't mess with other plans. We'll see. It has messed with some plans, but I'm currently working through it, and I'll talk about that more specifically. But it has screwed it with plans, but we'll see if everything should work out fine. It's just frustrating in the long run, but we'll see how it all works out. Carla, heart to you. You said, hi, Jessie, how are you? I really enjoyed your explanation of performance of gender in recent videos, so thought-provoking. You mentioned there will be a follow-up video. Do you have anything you can share about it? Yes, that video is actually already filmed. Lucian is, I believe, should be working on it. So that video is already all set and done. The issue more is just timing of that video when I'm going to release it, just because I have the Sex and Star Trek video to do. I have a Matrix video, the Joss Whedon video. So it's done, and I just need to figure out where I'm going to slot it in. And also there's one segment left I say it's done, but there's one segment left that I have to film. But that video, what that video is going to be in, I might even do a part 3, just because I feel like there might be more to say, but I was actually timing of doing part 3 when I finished my surgery. So we'll see how that works out, because I was thinking, if I'm going to do a part 3, I want to talk about it from having completed transition, like my last transition related thing, and talking from that point of view of things. But obviously that's not going to happen for a little bit longer than expected. So there might not be a part 3, but part 2 is going to focus on the stigmas and gatekeeping against trans women specifically, that gatekeep trans women from being allowed to feel sexy. Things like how transness is seen as a sexual perversion by trans women, autogynephilia, stuff like that. And so the video is going to be talking about how trans women are often gatekept from feeling sexy, because we're sort of seen as like everything in trans is just some sort of sexual perversion, instead of being like we're just trans people living our lives who also wish to feel sexy like any other person would. And so how that's almost wielded against trans people. So that's what part 2 is going to be mainly focusing on. Also, there will be more fun outfits for that one too. But again, it's more just when that's going to happen. Jess Johnson, heart to you. Thank you so much. You said thank you so much for all your work and for creating such a great community. I am nerdiverse and really appreciate how you address topics around that. Well, thank you so much. That's another video that I keep wanting to do, and it keeps getting pushed off because other stuff comes up. But I do want to do a video on the connection between being neurodiverse and being trans. Yeah, that's just something that I've just been wanting to talk about. Anyways, regardless, thank you so much, Jess. I really appreciate that. You are lovely, and I appreciate you so much. And I'm still learning. I know a lot about trans issues. When it comes to neurodiverse issues, I know that there's still a lot for me to learn there too. So I appreciate you saying that I do well in that. But I know there's like some videos that I could look back and I'm like, oh, some of my verbiage and my ways of discussing this could have been updated a little bit more. So I'm pleased that it speaks to you, and I'm on a learning journey there too. Chloe Benin says, heart to you, by the way. I was wondering if you will make a video update to the Wii Spa incident. I feel like there's updates that you need to inform the audience with. Yes, Chloe. So, yes, you are correct. There are updates about the Wii Spa incident that I do wish to do updates on. The issue with it is kind of twofold at the moment. Number one, the Wii Spa incident has, for those of you can go and watch my other videos on the Wii Spa incident, if you're curious about what that is. But specifically, the Wii Spa incident is one that has been weaponized by the alt-right and right-wing groups like TERFs. So whenever I do videos on that, I have to be very, very careful with it. Because other videos, I try to be careful in all my videos, but specifically with those, I know those will be scrutinized and weaponized by, let's say, people that have intentionally bad motivations to read my videos in the worst possible light possible and weaponize that against both me and other trans people. So if I'm going to do a Wii Spa video, I want to be very, very careful with it. And as for the updates, like, for example, surrounding the potential perpetrator of the incident at Wii Spa, obviously there's been new stuff come out about them in terms of their history, or her history, I should say. I believe she uses she, her pronouns, that show that some of her history as a sex offender may not have come from any sexual impropriety, but like just peeing publicly because she was homeless and not being able to use a bathroom, which then gets her labeled as a sex offender and put on a registry, and then that gets weaponized to perpetuate the idea that trans women are sexually perverse, and again that whole thing. I need to look into the exact specifics because it's been a minute since I looked at them. The reason that I haven't done that yet and I haven't focused on that yet it's not because I don't want to or that I'm scared to. It's, again, being careful about it. And also, I really want to wait until there is an actual development in the case, because there has been research and well-done research from people done about the history of this person. But they have been, I think, arrested and charged, and I think there is going to be a criminal trial on it. And I figured that it's probably just best to just, when it's all done, I will then do a video on it then. And that, so that it's like, okay, I can kind of have a definitive stance on this. That's like, instead of just piecemealing videos along the way, I can be like, here's the last video, here's my final thoughts on this, and I can sort of like come at it with just all the knowledge that I'm possibly going to get in the incident, and then I can go from there. So that's why I haven't done a video, and I do want to do one. It may be a hot minute, but I want to wait until there's much more clear, specific stuff on that. So anyway, sorry, Sean. I know we were waiting for Sean to do ups and downs. So apologies. This is what always happens, Sean. If you're still here, that always happens. Oh, thank you very much, Sean. You like my T-shirt. Let's see other things real quick. I'm just gonna go through these super chats. John Vinnell's heart to you. A lot of the stuff attributed to Jocelyn Screw is really done by his brother Jed. I wouldn't say, we can talk about Jed too. I don't know specifically that, but the stuff has been specifically attributed to Joss. So it's specifically a Joss Whedon problem. I think can't really speak too much about Jed, but I do know the allegations against Joss were specifically against Joss, so I want to make sure I'm clear on that. Olivia Yeats, heart to you. You said, not trans-related, but I have a whole saga needing surgery to get a cyst out of my wrist because it was pressing a nerve. Oh, boy. Spoiler, the U.S. health insurance system is disturbingly whacked. That sucks, Olivia. I had a cyst. I don't know. Well, I don't know if you can really see it. I don't know if I can angle myself. I had a cyst on my neck, a really big cyst right on my neck. That I got taken out, and I actually have a small scar on my neck from it. Got it taken out like 2 years ago, and I still have a small scar from where that cyst was taken out. It was really big, too. It was a huge cyst. So I know the frustrations of dealing with a cyst. It's not fun. Not fun. Hard to you, Chris Pike. Chris Pike! Good to see you. You're looking different nowadays. You're looking a little bit more like Jeffrey Hunter rather than Anson Mount there. But good to see you. Great work. You are lovely, Chris Pike. Thank you so much. Okay. I think I'm all caught up on Super Chats. Just to make sure I didn't miss any. You still here, Sean? Because if you are, I will do ups and downs with you. I would love to do ups and downs with you. But anyways, what did I miss? I'm glad you're doing all right in these crazy things. Well, Paula, thank you so much. Heart to you. You were lovely. You're absolutely lovely. At least that's how Kat described it. You're talking about Kat Black. Kat Black did great video and also post. Kat Black did a great post about Wii Spa as well. So if you're looking for, I pretty much second everything that that Kat Black says. So if you're looking for like update, just everything that Kat Black says, I agree with 100%. So just know that that you can sort of attribute what she's not that you. I don't want to steal her work. My point with Kat Black is like everything that she says, I'm like, yep, 100% agree with. So you can look at what she said to sort of get an idea of where my viewpoints are. Ulysses, heart to you. I was feeling bad with this sickness, but you always have raised my spirits, put a smile on my face. Well, I'm glad, Ulysses. Please feel better. Lovely. You are wonderful. Mwah. And good, Sean, you're here. Let's do ups and downs. What were you? Let's just say. So I'm got another super chat, but I'll quick talk to you, Sean. How do you want to do ups and downs? What was your first up for Star Trek? We're gonna start. We'll try and keep it mostly spoiler free, but we'll discuss a little bit of stuff, and it's hard to spoil some specific. Like we'll talk about the episode. Basically, what I'm saying is we're doing ups and downs of Star Trek Prodigy episode 8. Time Amok. Great episode, my favorite episode of Prodigy so far. We'll do ups and downs really quickly here with Sean because I love Sean and I want to have his opinion on the episode because I'm so curious. I'm trying to like pat you on the head, Sean, but you're lovely. Anyways, what did you think of Time Amok? We'll keep the overall story arc of the season spoiler free, but you can talk specifically about the episodes, but like overall story stuff will sort of like the reveals of certain characters we'll sort of leave out. So guess which episode you don't hate me. Guess which episode guess which episode up. I'm unsure what you mean, Sean. I'm sorry. Jean Vinos says, I meant to say that a lot of writing decisions attributed to Joss over the years were got you, Jed. Yeah, that I can totally understand. Jed, I mean, they did a lot of work together, especially on things like Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog. I know Jed did a lot of work on as well, and a bunch of other shows. And so, yeah, I'm sure Jed is like Jonathan. Jed is kind of like Jonathan Nolan, where everyone ascribes everything to Chris Nolan. But Jonathan does quite a lot of the writing for Chris Nolan's work. But Chris Nolan gets all the credit, like the sole credit, even though both of them do great work. Same thing with Joss and Jed, though Joss is less wonderful as Chris Nolan is, at least presumably. You're a fraud. Why are you a fraud, Sean? You haven't watched Time Amok yet, Sean. You're the one that was like, oh, let's do ups and downs here together, and then you're like, well, I haven't actually seen it. What? I will say, no, then I won't have any spoilers, Sean, for here. But I will say, I have been kind of I'm not negative on Star Trek Prodigy, but I'm a little bit more like, I like it, don't love it. On Prodigy, which is sad because it was, and I think the reason that that's the case, by the way, is because number one, it's half an hour, so it's taking a little bit longer to warm up. Unlike Lower Decks, just kind of came out of the gate with a full sense of identity. Prodigy is like telling a much longer arc that isn't just individualized, whereas Lower Decks like individual episodes here and there, and it kind of nailed it because it was kind of cribbing off of what TNG and Deep Space Nine and Voyager had done. Whereas Prodigy's trying to do something wholly new, and because it's doing that, it's finding its footing a little bit more. And then also, I had a lot of high expectations for Prodigy because I like that sort of style. So I think between the fact that Prodigy is trying something new, doing something different, and trying to find its footing a little bit more, and on top of my high expectations for it, I feel like it's it hasn't clicked with me as much as it could, but I do think that is just a time thing. I have every confidence in Prodigy being a show that will like 100% click with me over the next like few years, over the next few seasons and episodes. But that all being said, the latest episode of Prodigy, Time Amok, best episode of the series so far. I loved it. It's like, this is what I wanted for this show to do. It like had great, strong character moments, crazy Star Trek sci-fi mumbo jumbo, but also was explaining it in like a kind of kid-friendly way, but also just like really had strong focus characters, also pushing forward the season-long mystery that they've been doing in a really fun way. So I really, really enjoyed Star Trek Prodigy's latest episode. So if you have not seen Star Trek Prodigy, I would definitely give it a strong recommend. I will say it is one of those shows that takes a little bit, for me, has taken a little bit more time to warm up to, but I'm getting there, especially with this latest episode. But that being said, that's kind of with all Star Trek shows, right? Like, all Star Trek shows take a while to get in there. I think most Star Trek shows, outside of Star Trek Lower Decks and the original series, pretty much every Star Trek show doesn't really like hit their great stride until season 4. Seasons 1 and 2, season 1s of most Star Trek shows, crap. Season 2 of most Star Trek shows, messy and inconsistent, but there's some good and there's some crap. It's like great and crap in season 2 of Star Trek shows, and a little bit in the middle. Season 3s, you're like, oh, this is mostly good. Like, not great, but mostly good. And then season 4s of Star Trek shows are like, this is great, actually. This is actually nailing it. That's usually the process that you go through with Star Trek shows. I think every single Star Trek show, including Star Trek Discovery, like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery. We haven't gotten to season 4 of Picard yet, but season 1 was bad. I think all of those Star Trek shows followed that exact formula. Season 1, mostly bad. Some good stuff here and there, but like a good foundation, but mostly bad. Season 2, inconsistent, some great, some bad, mostly middling. Season 3, solidly good. Not great, but solidly good. Season 4, knocks it out of the park. It's like, oh, now you're great. Literally every single Star Trek show, except for the original series and Lower Decks. I think those are the only 2 exceptions. And I guess the animated series, I guess, if you're getting technical. So, you reviewed season 2 of TNG this week, Sean. Oh, did I miss the super chat? I'm sorry if I did. I think I saw one. I just want to make sure. Did I? Oh, Omar, thank you so much for your super chat. Sorry I missed it earlier. Said nothing to say except thank you for all the wonderful quality. Thank you. Omar, you are lovely. Thank you so much. Let's see. I'm looking forward to Prodigy, but I got to admit. Sorry, I'm just saying. I've reviewed season 2. Sorry, I want to make sure I catch up with some other chat stuff. Lower Deck kind of requires you to be invested in Star Trek already. I thought so too, Parchment, but I actually have friends who started watching Lower Decks knowing nothing about Star Trek other than, like, the basic osmosis of what most people know about Star Trek and loved it. I have a close friend of mine who had only seen some of Star Trek Discovery and then the Chris Pine movies, nothing other than that, and started watching Lower Decks and loved it, and now she's watching Deep Space Nine. So I don't think Lower Decks, you definitely get a lot more out of Lower Decks if you've seen all or a decent chunk of Star Trek, but I don't think it's required. And I was 100% with you, Parchment, because if you go back and watch my season 1 review of Lower Decks, that's what I said too. But I think having seen my friend's reaction to it, I had to change my tune a little bit on that. That in my opinion. So you're talking about so I'm shocked at the jump in quality for season 2 of TNG. Yeah, season 1 of TNG was weird. I mean, you could talk about the behind the scenes stuff that was going on, but like, I don't even know, like, TNG season 1 is just strange. I mean, even setting Code of Honor aside, which is its own whole discussion, it just feels like they didn't know what they wanted to do with Star Trek. Like, they felt like they wanted to do this, like, aw shucks kind of sci-fi sort of thing. It was like, there was definitely the horniness of Star Trek, but it had this, like, weird earnestness, but not in a good way, in a kind of, like, cheesy, campy, dumb way. That was like, there's like the episode was like, there's a space made only of just thought. This magical land of just thought. And then you have Wesley being like, I'm the child prodigy that kids can identify with and suddenly sound like Mickey Mouse, apparently. Yeah, and so it's just weird. And then season 2 comes along and it's still got that weirdness to it, but it starts to solidify the characters a little bit more, and then it starts to find, like, oh, these are the types of stories that are starting to work, like really hard-hitting, like philosophical, sociological concepts. Those are what's working. Like Measure of a Man was, I think, really the best place where it's like, oh, the episodes need to be sociological or philosophical mixed with, like, strong character drama. And then when it's got that dynamic down, it was like, okay, We're getting there. I really think, honestly, I think the big turning point for Star Trek Next Generation is Best of Both Worlds at the end of season 3. I think that's the real, like, okay, we're in full gear now. But I think, like, the moment where you're like, okay, I think Star Trek Next Generation is starting to find its voice is Measure of a Man. I think that's the episode where it really starts to find it. In my opinion, in my humble opinion. So I'm a mouse and I love Sean. I am a mouse and I love the Academy. Yeah, it's spot on, Wesley. Yeah, thank you, Legend of Zia. I thought that was a good one too. Punk Rock Joella, just my partner hasn't seen Star Trek from before discovering Lower Decks is by far a favorite. Oh, that's wonderful, Punk Rock. Jessie, have you read Lindsay? I'm assuming you mean Lindsay Ellis' sci-fi series. Has anyone here just finished Truth of the Divine a few days ago? It was really emotionally intense. Yes, Cappuccino Crafts. I have not read the second book, which is Truth of the Divine. I forget the name of the first one. But I have read Lindsay Ellis' first book in that series that she wrote. I really hope she does the third one. I know she's spoken about because of all the stuff that's going on with her, that she's not feeling an impetus to write. So I really hope she finishes the third one because I do intend to read the second. I'm just in the middle of reading The Wheel of Time right now, so that's its own whole thing. Axiom Zen, thank you, Rachel. I did read it and thought it was really, really good. In fact, while I recognize that it was definitely at a starter, like someone's first novel, and there was definitely some things in there, like some of the characterization like could have been a bit stronger and some of the pacing could have been a bit stronger. I actually really loved it because it kind of hit what I like about certain scientific novels. She spends a large amount of the time in that book describing like how the character learned like the alien's language, and also describing how like language and misinterpretations of language can get wrapped up in political stuff and political misinterpretations, political intrigue, and sort of the politics of where the United States was and her sort of alt history universe that this book is set in. How that sort of politics of that gets wrapped up in this sort of like first contact alien thing, and then sort of translate that onto how this alien language works. And so it just gets into the nitty gritty of like developing this language, the alien language, and just like teaching you how this language works, and then added like some interesting political ramifications on top of that process. And I thought it was just a really well written in that sort of concept. And so I really liked Axiom's End. I thought she did a really great job. A fantastic first book. So I am looking forward to reading the second one when I get a chance to. And I will sort of, I hope she gets to do a third one. Adrian says, have you watched Sean's BBC third video? No, I was actually planning to watch it after the stream. For those of you who don't know, Sean, the YouTuber Sean, fantastic video. A fantastic YouTuber, I mean. He's done 2 videos so far on chronicling the issues with the BBC, specifically around the article that they released a few months ago, where they perpetuated the idea that all trans women are sexual predators. It was definitely an article meant to be sort of I want to say like a dog whistle, but it was an outright like just like blowing the horn for TERFs and TERFs rhetoric. Absolutely horrific, and it was all done with a really stupidly and terribly done scientific study, and there's a whole myriad of other stuff. Sean goes into it, as well as that's the article that was platformed not Lindsay Ellis, I forget her name because I blanked it because she's terrible. Anyways, the woman who was a lesbian woman who actually was a sexual predator who had assaulted women sexually and had admitted to it, cis woman, not trans woman, cis woman, who then also wrote a online thing calling for the genocide of trans people. The BBC never disavowed that woman. They took her out of the article, but they never disavowed her, and the article is still up. Anyways, Sean, I did my own video on it, just delving into it and using it as a touchstone for a larger discussion. Sean's been going into it really specifically. So I've watched his first 2 videos, and they are fantastic. And he released a third video today that I have not seen. So I am planning to watch it. So go check out Sean's first 2 videos. And while I have not seen the third video yet, I am going to assume it's fantastic and a really good video. Lily K, thank you, Aronok. I appreciate that. Let's see. Catching up on super chats here. Keats Cast, heart to you. Just wanted to stop by and say we love you and hope you're excited for the Trek releases announced. I am. I'm very excited. For those of you who didn't hear, Star Trek Discovery is coming back soon. We have Prodigy going on. Lower Decks got announced for a season 3 this summer and a season 4. So Lower Decks got 2 more seasons coming, which I'm very excited about. Star Trek Discovery got renewed. Star Trek Picard was already renewed for a season 3, but is getting its season 2 premiere in, I think, early March. I think it's March 3rd, I think was the date. So I'm excited for that. We're getting Star Trek Picard very soon. And then we also have Star Trek Strange New Worlds coming out this summer. I forget, they announced the date, but I forget the exact date. It's this summer, essentially. So, or slightly earlier than that, actually, I think. Which that's the Star Trek show that I'm really excited to see. Like, I'm really here for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So I was very excited about all those release dates. So it was good news. Very good news. Nicholas, heart to you. Thank you so much, you little cute little guy. Thank you so much for your super chat. You're lovely. Mwah. Oh, Edward, thank you so much. That is incredibly generous. Edward, thank you so much. You are very, very generous. Thank you so much for that super chat. That giving you like 20 hearts. Like, I'm breaking the heart and making a new ones for you, Edward. That is really, really generous. Thank you so much, my friend. I adore you. You said, excuse me, but what does God need with a starship? Great line. Love that line. You should totally have me on Xbox Live PlayStation Network, by the way. Have you sent me friend requests? You're welcome to. To be fair, I don't play online all that much on either of those platforms. I mainly play single player. I don't really play online too much. But you're welcome to friend me. I'm Dr. Trekkie on Xbox Live, so Dr. Trekkie, 2 words. And then PlayStation Network, I think I'm just Jessie Gender on PlayStation Network, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Either Jessie Gender or Lost Trekkie, LOSTREKKIE, all one word. One of those two. Send me a friend request and I will accept it. But I will forewarn you, Edward. I don't really do much with friends on gaming consoles. Sorry, but you're welcome to. You're more than welcome to friend me. I will totally accept that. John, heart to you. He said, not that Lindsay would know anything about language, but being misused to hurt and destroy. Oh, yeah, not at all. She would have no experience with that. Yeah, of course. Obviously, the sarcasm being very clear. Let's see. Oh, Ulysses, feel better. Go crash. Take care of yourself. Sleep better. Okay? Tinkin, yo dog, I heard you like Star Trek, so I have a bunch of green light of Star. Yeah, it's like I heard you like Star. Also, the day that they announced all those release dates was the day that I learned that my surgery was canceled. So that helped. That those announcements made me feel a little bit better. I was like, okay, at least I'll be getting more Star Trek. So that was good. Movie Meister says, have you seen Yellow Jackets? No, I have not. I actually have it not downloaded on my computer illegally. Definitely don't have that. Definitely not the case. I will watch Yellow Jackets legally. I do. Long story short, I do intend to watch Yellow Jackets. I may have accessed it perfectly legally. But I have not gotten around to watching it yet. So I do want to watch Yellow Jackets. This week I've been busy this week finishing The Matrix. So just to give you all a little look inside the Jessie Gender world, I'm doing a video for GameSpot where I'm playing Dark Souls for the first time, which by the way, I'm really loving Dark Souls. Did not expect that. So I'm doing a video about that, which has taken up a lot of my time. Because playing Dark Souls takes time. But I've also been trying to finish up my Matrix Resurrections video, which was initially just going to be a quick for me, like a 40-minute video. But I just finished it. And now I'm in I'll tell you that in a second. I finished it. And the runtime for my Matrix Resurrections video, you all ready for this? You all ready for the Matrix Resurrections runtime? Video runtime? Take a guess. Let me see what the chat says. What does the chat think the runtime for my Matrix Resurrections video is going to be? And how much I hate myself. Omar says, Jesse, we need you to know. Heart to you said, Jesse, you need to know how you feel about the old Windows 95 TIE Fighter game. And if you'd ever, I would love to stream a live through of it. I've played it once, way back when I had a Windows 95 as a kid. But I have not played it in a long time. I loved it, and I would totally do a playthrough of it. And Geek Filter, heart to you. I feel so far out of the loop, but hope all is well. I'll talk to you later. We'll connect later. But Geek Filter, thank you to you, lovely. I hope you're doing okay, my friend. I know you're dealing with a lot right now. So everyone, please send some love to Geek Filter. But you said, but people are guessing 2 hours, 15 minutes. Did it come in short? 1 hour, 13 minutes, 3 hours, 2 hours. The official runtime for the video is 1 hour and 55 minutes. My Matrix Resurrections video runs 1 hour and 55 minutes. Now, to be fair, I'm in that video, I'm announcing, like, doing the official announcement of me being on Nebula. I mean, I'm doing it here in the live stream, I announced elsewhere, but I feel like most people will watch the main videos. So there's about 10 minutes of that video that is me discussing Nebula. So take off 10 minutes of that video. So my Matrix Resurrections video is going to run about 1 hour and 40 minutes with 10 minutes of extra stuff on top of that. So, yeah, gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a long one. I hope you all appreciate that. Yeah, my video is 40 minutes shorter. Oh my, Diana, thank you so much. You and Edward both are been so, I mean, everyone's been generous who gave us super chats, but Edward and Diana, thank you so much. That is really, really generous. Also, I should say, well, let me respond to yours, Diana, and I want to make sure I say this afterwards. But Diana, thank you so much for that. You said, happy belated holidays. I meant to send this then, but missed your stream. Love your channel. Diana, thank you so much. That is very, very kind. I really appreciate that. I also just want to quick say, because there have been some really generous super chats. I appreciate the super chats, and I, like I said at the top of the stream, super chats do help me pay my bills. They do help contribute to me being able to pay for insurance and all that fun stuff. But I also just want to make sure I always state this, because I've seen a few people being like, oh, I'm giving money, but I don't have a lot of money to give, but I want to support you. The best way to support me, if you don't have a lot of money, take care of yourself. Only give super chats and help me on Patreon and all that stuff. Only do that if it is expendable income that you wish to send my way for the content that I make and wishing to support me. I appreciate that, but I just want to always be clear to everybody, if you are giving, I appreciate it so much. Only give when you are able to, and it is something that is just some disposable income that you are able to toss my way. I just want to make sure that that's clear. And I didn't mean to think, Diana, I don't think that that's what you're doing, but it's just something that for my own sense of comfort, I just wish to state. But Diana and Edward, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And then I also got another speaking of Edward, you got another super chat. You said, what happened to my father? Died of a heart attack. My mom, smallpox. My brothers died of a plague. My sister, you're doing the plague. My dog ran over by a carriage. My goldfish eaten by cats. My cat choked on a goldfish. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. I forget what that's from. I remember knowing that, but that's great. That is absolutely wonderful. Another feature movie, yeah, Cappuccino. Yeah, you're talking about the Matrix video. Yeah, I did not expect that video to get so long. It's 1 hour and 50 minutes. I also got some. So it's come out like another Sex and Star Trek video, which I was like, my Sex and Star Trek video is like, I'm gonna end the year on this big video, and then we'll have a little bit of a rest, and then I'll do the next Sex and Star Trek video, which will be the next big one. Which I'm aiming to hopefully film at the end of this month, or early next month. So Sex and Star Trek will be coming soon. Part 2, I should say. And that'll be another long video. But anyways, I did not expect the Matrix Resurrection. I wasn't even intending to do a Matrix Resurrections video, but I saw the movie and had thoughts and was frustrated with how people were discussing the film, because I feel like it missed a lot of what that film was trying to do. And so I was like, fine, I'll write a video on it. And then it turned out to be 2 damn hours long. And I hate my life. I love my life, but I hate that I can't be concise in everything. That's the problem with my brain. I'm sure I know all of you appreciate it. It's not always algorithm friendly. Sometimes it is. But what was I gonna say? But it's frustrating. It's just my brain is like, oh, I have a thought, and I need to tell you every single thought that I've had that was related to it. And I hope my videos are actually like they're not like completely tangential and just like going off on weird tangents. And they do tell a cohesive thesis. But I just wish for my own self that I could write 20-minute videos. Just 20 minutes. Even 20 minutes is long for people. I wish I could get that short. I wish I could get that short on my writing. But it is kind of like, I know you can have someone edit your scripts. I know Lucian does. Lucian makes them shorter than what they start as. But yeah, it's not that I think my writing's bad. I just like, I am a long-winded writer, and I think that like that's not a bad thing. I think I cover a lot of I'm using the space. I'm somewhat repetitive, I know at times, but I am not like so completely like repetitive. I don't think my writing's bad, but I am verbose. So there you go. But that's the thing, Diana. I do use outlines. I outline every video I do. I just think of many things when I do outline them. So there you go. Ronak, Lord of Rain, Heart, thank you so much for your super chat. You said, hi, I've been watching your autism contact and inspiring writer on the spectrum. I love the creative process, especially with magic systems. Magic systems are great. I wish I could come up with a good magic system. That's what, like, I want to do some more fiction writing, but I'm like, oh god, the worlds that I would want to write, I don't know how best to do that sort of stuff. To be fair, I'd probably do more sci-fi than fantasy if I was going to write more fiction. Or horror. And then horror, you don't need to explain. Crap. You can just be like, it's demons. And demons do weird stuff. So, here we are. When I say I have Lucian, my editor, Lucian edits my videos and my scripts. He does both. So. Chloe, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, being a trans girl Eagle Scout, I am declaring spam and eagle barrels to be part of the Sigma girl grind set. Declaring spam and eagle bagels. I love it. Speaking of spam, best thing ever, spam musubi. Anyone have any spam musubi? I love spam musubi. It is the perfect appetizer for sushi. There is a sushi place near where I live that does spam musubi as an appetizer for sushi. And it's just like, I've never thought about it, but all spam musubi is basically just rice, spam, and then eel sauce, and then like some seaweed to wrap it on. So good. And it's like, because it gets you ready for the sushi with the eel sauce and the rice, because it primes you for that texture and that flavor. But the spam has this like meat flavor to it that like is like a good primer for the food you're about to eat with the sushi and the raw fish. So like weirdly spam musubi, mwah, best thing. I love it. Adore spam musubi. Hello Future Me did do a great video. I love Hello Future Me's great videos on writing. Like Hello Future Me's entire series on writing, I would almost say is required for any fantasy writer nowadays. Hello Future Me does fantastic work in that field. Absolutely fantastic. I am always ready for sushi. Well, yeah, I don't need spam musubi, Catherine Lambeth, to have sushi. I will have sushi morning, noon, and night. But it does help. Heart to you, Jess. Thank you so much. You said your non-concise ramblings make me feel better. Someone who can go on as long as me as an audience. That's really cool. Thank you very much, Jess. I'm glad my rambles are helpful. I will say it does at least make easily bedtime listening, because you just hear me rant about stuff for a long time. You can just put it on and it's like, I'm gonna hear Jessie rant for an hour about some nonsense about Star Trek. So there you go. I mean, my concept, I had a concept for a sci-fi novel that would involve the first ever transporter being created at an interesting moment in human history. So this is my basic pitch for a sci-fi novel that I thought about doing, which was there was a sleeper ship of people that left Earth because, for a myriad of reasons, basically they wanted to escape Earth because Earth was just kind of crap at the moment. And they're like, we want to go and do things on our own. We want to have our own society. We want to build our own, like, live off the land. There's this new world that's been discovered, and we're going to go do that. So they put themselves in cryosleep and send themselves off to this new planet that they found to go colonize it. And like, we're going to be on our own. We're not going to have any of this crap from these other countries, from the United States to bother us. And then they get there and they get a message back from Earth being like, oh, we actually created a transporter, and why don't you build this transporter, because then we can send you some stuff. And they're like, crap. And so now they thought that they were going to be separate from Earth, but now they have a teleporter that can bring them back to Earth. And sort of like a discussion about like just sort of that sort of idea, I think would be kind of fun. Is just my idea for a sci-fi novel that I think would be kind of interesting. And because of the time difference, like some people's ancestors exist and some things have changed on Earth and stuff like that are complicated for the people involved on the ship. So that would be my that would be the sci-fi novel that I thought of. And I had ideas for characters and how that would all play out, but that's the idea. So Heart to you, Fada. By the way, I need to wrap out this stream in just a minute. But Fada, heart to you said, Jessie Ginger, have heard of a new amazing, new Amazon animated series taken from Critical Role D&D, The Legend of Vox Machina. It has people like David Tennant and Gina Torres doing the voices. Yes. I am planning on watching it. I have seen a few episodes of Critical Role. I love Critical Role. I wish I could get more into it, but each episode is 3 hours long, and there's so many of them, and I do not have that kind of time, because I know I would get obsessed. So I've listened to a few episodes here and there of Critical Role, and loved it, but just have been like, I am a completionist, and if I start this, I know I'm going to want to listen to all of it, and that's going to be a huge time sink. So that being said, I am excited for the animated series, specifically because I will be able to get the story without it being 200 hours long. So I'm actually very excited. And then David Tennant, just anything in David Tennant is amazing. Just give me David Tennant and I will be happy. I could watch a show that's David Tennant talking about the paint drying on the wall, and I would probably watch it and give it a 5-star review. So there you go. But yeah. Anyways, everybody, I think I got to wrap out because I got to go have some dinner and I got to get some work done tonight. I still got some work to do. So just some quick announcements just to wrap out stuff that people should expect over the next coming days. I have a video coming out tomorrow that is about my surgery that I talked about earlier. While it is a personal video, me talking about what happened with my surgery, I use it more as a springboard to talk about trans surgeries, like the frustrations that many trans people have when they try to get gender confirmation surgery. So I try to connect it to that as a longer discussion and not just be like, oh, Jessie sad, but try and talk about use it as a springboard to talk about larger things. It's a very low-key video. It's just me in front of a camera, not doing anything super special for it. Just being open about that. So that video will go up tomorrow morning. I'm not going to do a premiere or anything for it. Saturday, I'll be doing my normal video game stream. We'll see what we're going to be playing. We'll see what we end up playing Saturday. I might end up having to play Dark Souls because I'm still doing that for GameSpot, and I'm a bit behind where I wanted to be for that. So we might be playing some Dark Souls Saturday night, but depending on how I feel about it, how far I get, we'll play something else Saturday night. And then next week is the Matrix video. So get ready for 2 hours of Matrix on Friday. So I will see you all tomorrow for the video, Saturday for the next live stream, and Friday for the Matrix video. Don't forget I'm now on Nebula, so look for me on Nebula if you'd prefer to watch my stuff there. I have a Patreon that you can support me at. Yeah, that's everything. I love you all. Heart to you, Geek Filter, sending you love. You are amazing. Please, everyone, send to wrap up the stream, send love to Geek Filter for being absolutely wonderful and amazing. I adore him, and he is going through a lot lately. So please send some extra love to Geek Filter. Extra love to Legend of Zia and Ulysses the Pagan, who I think have already left the stream. I think I saw that they headed out, but love to them because they're doing stuff. Anyone else who is dealing with anything rough over the past week or whatever you're dealing with, know that you are loved, that you are amazing, and I adore you. Don't ever forget that. Beyond that, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out, being here. I send you love, my friends, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Mwah, mwah, mwah.